And now my pleasure to introduce you Saurabh Kumar, who is already joining our session as well. Saurabh is a senior software engineer in Mintware Ventures. He's primarily working with a Node.js and JavaScript engineer, and he has actually been contributing from development, debugging, and deployment to make applications highly available, scalable, and secure. He has a lot of hobbies, like really a lot, from novel and playing badminton and going for track occasionally when he has free time. I think now we all have plenty of free time in this lockdown. That's why also in the free time and to contribute to the community development, Saurabh is attending a lot of meetups and can be visible and seen in various of the conferences nationally. So we are very pleased and very value that Saurabh is joining us today. So Saurabh, tell us please, are you with us already?
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, very loud and clear.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, super. Thank you for joining us today. I love your topic because I know that your profile on GitHub is null programmer. I think there are also a lot of magic in there. So let us give a lot of magic for the Node.js event loop, myth and magic to understand for the audience.
Yeah.
This stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure is mine. Thank you, Ajay. So can I continue? Hello?
Yeah.
So hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It all depends on all the time zone where you are. I hope everyone is taking care of their loved ones in this critical time of coronavirus. So I hope all is taking care. My name is Saurabh, and I am a senior software engineer at Mintware Venture. So I most of the time I work on JavaScript and backend part of the using Node.js. So coding, I love coding actually, and my work belongs from debugging, maintenance of code, and writing a bunch of codes to the production server. So that's my task basically. Let me share my screen. So my topic is understanding the Node.js event loops, myths, and magic. So first of all, follow me on the social media and get connected with me if you have anything at all. So so this is a very broad topic, and I want to like to focus on the important and the most valuable parts of Node.js event loop, which sometimes most of the developers and the person who is like just starting, who gets lost in the event loop. So first of all, what is event loop? So before that, we have to discuss about like what is Node.js and how does it work. So Node.js, as for you guys know, Node.js is a backend JavaScript technology, which is actually a runtime environment, and asynchronous programming, which So it's a single-threaded, non-blocking, asynchronous, event-driven JavaScript runtime, which is built on Chrome's V8 engine. So first of all, what is single-threaded? So single-threaded is as we know, Node.js is a single-threaded. But what does that mean? What does the single-threaded means? So it does means like it has only one thread where all of the tasks, all of the work of our code will be executed on that. So so let's start with an example. So my talk is going to be like from basic, and as far as I go into deep, that will be I will explore some of the basic stuff, and after that we will deep dive into this. So bear with me. If you are a senior developer, you will also get to know about the things as well, or get a refresh about that. So first of all, let me take an example. So so here is an example which is a function foo and another function bar, and there is a console.log bar. So first of all, whenever we run a program, all of the first of all of the main function will work. Main function will run, and let's suppose the program executes from first line as any JavaScript program runs. This is a function definition. It will go. Another one is a bar is a function definition. It will just leave it out, and it will go to console.log bar4. So what happened is here is like in a call stack, this console.log bar will gets pushed into the stack. So it's a FIFO concept, whichever comes in, and after that it will pops out. So first of all, the console.log bar will comes into the stack, and after that, bar is a function. It will the bar function will gets called, and bar function will return after variable definition y, it will return a foo function. So what foo function does is foo function also return calculation after a and b. So if we take bar 4, so x will assign 4 and y is assigned 2, so it returns 8, and after that foo will return the value 8 into 3, 24 plus 5, 29. So foo will return basically 29, and after that bar will after that console.log pops out from the stack, and after that the main function will get execute. So what happens is here it is a like it's not a blocking non-blocking code. It depends on the another function foo, and it all depends on the another function bar. But where does the Node.js concept works? How does like it will how does like the asynchronous behavior and the non-blocking behavior of any program we will achieve? So first of all, we have to understand what is asynchronous in Node.js. So asynchronous is a like a design paradigm or a pattern which executes a non-blocking code. So so let's take an example here also. Example is a simple one: console.log hello, and after that we will run set timeout, and after that we will run good morning. So what happened here is first of all the console first line will gets pop into the stack, which is the hello, and after that what happened is set timeout will do something, but set timeout has no relation with the stack. So like set timeout will not go into the stack, but it will eventually run somewhere. It's a Node.js, but it will run somewhere. It will not go to a stack. We will talk about that later. And after that, the hello. After that, the good morning line will be printed. Goes into a stack and printed itself. It's a console.log, and and what happens is after some time, after 3 seconds, the console.log Geekle.us will get printed. But how does that where does that set timeout goes? How does that like console.log eventually pop-ups after 3 seconds? What happens internally? So so here comes the event loop is in picture. So we will going to talk about the event loop. So there is a phases of event loop. Actually, it's a timer. It's divided into 6 phases. Actually, it's a 7 to 8 phase, but other 2 phases not necessary here. It's not in a bigger picture in Node.js, but the Node.js uses that internally. So what happened is like there is a phases where is a first phase is a timers, second is pending callbacks, third is idle prepare, fourth is again poll, and fifth is check, and sixth is close callbacks. So what happen is like in timer, set timeout and set interval will gets run. Like as I said, where does the set timeout goes? Sorry for my slide. I haven't included that picture in this slide, where it will explain all of the how the basically a single program runs. But let me explain you. So what happens is whenever a set time out comes, it will not go to a stack, but eventually it will that will the timer will run actually there. And what happens is the timer is stored. Just suppose the timer is of 3 seconds. That will store, and after 3 seconds, that set timeout will be executed. Whatever that is written in the set timeout. So first of all, the timer says where set timeout and set interval will be executed. After that, there's a pending callbacks where all of the system related input output callbacks will be executed. So actually, Node.js internally uses some system input output, so that will be executed. And idle and PPR is just used. That is also used internally with Node.js. But here poll comes an interesting part. So like poll has an important role here. So what it does is like it retrieves new input output of all input output events and execute all of the input output callbacks. So input output callbacks that is scheduled by the timer or by the set immediate. But set immediate has another concept here. So I will explain that later. So what happened here is whenever you run a function, execute a function, what happened is if you are using, suppose you are using set timeout. So set timeout here is executed, and the timer is stored by the poll. So what happened is whenever the same event run, like suppose you are running a program, whenever that will run, the event will be registered for, like suppose if you are giving a timeout of 3 seconds, that will register for that 3 seconds. And after that, after the completion of time, that will be notified to the event queue, and which will execute the rest of the part. So that is it. Set in check set immediate callback will be invoked here, and close callbacks is all of the closing events will run here. Like if we talk about socket, then socket.on close event will run on close callbacks. Now the interesting part is what is the difference between set immediate and set timeout. So set immediate is actually it is designed to execute once the current poll phases completes. Like let's suppose you are running a program, and there's a multiple function yet to be executed on the poll. So set immediate will run after the whole poll will gets executed, or all the poll will gets pop out after execution. So after that, set immediate will execute. Set timeout schedules after a minimum threshold. Like let's suppose there's something in the stack which yet has to be like executed, and you have given a set timeout of 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So it doesn't depend like that set timeout is execute after 5 seconds or after 10 seconds. It all depends on the call stack. Like if call stack has yet to be executed all of the function which take like suppose 3 seconds, and you have a set timeout of 5 seconds, then that set timeout of 5 seconds will not execute after 5 seconds. It will execute after 8 seconds. So yeah, I know this is like a confusion topic, but it works like that. Like it doesn't necessarily mean like a set timeout will run after 5 seconds only. So it all depends on the system performance and how your node program is working. Now coming to the next part, it's process.nextTick. So yeah, it's an interesting thing also. So it is, you cannot see process.nextTick in this picture. but it has a greater importance here. Like like what it does is like a process.next tick. It is like actually not execute in the next iteration. It will not execute in the current iteration. Actually, it will execute in the next iteration. So like suppose you are okay, no, sure. So what set next does is it scheduled a call or a program of callback function to execute after the current program will execute. So that will execute after that. So why do we use process.nextTick, and what does we achieve after using that? Like it's not in a picture also, and why we are doing something to use this. So we can use this to allow handle errors. So whenever you got something unexpected in your program, so you want to handle that error, so that can be used pretty well with process.nextTick. Yeah, as I said, when you need to like how process.nextTick works is like it execute after the current iteration. So if you want to run something after the current iteration, after this event loop, and you want to run after this iteration, so you can use process.nextTick. You can use this to remove unwanted resources, and you can also allow callback to run after call stack and the before the next iteration of the event loop. So yeah, so there is a lot of misconception in Node.js event loop. So what is those misconception? So the misconception is everything that's asynchronous, yeah. So there is a misconception, people thought that Node.js is asynchronous, and if it is asynchronous, that must be handled by all of the things are handled by a thread pool. Another libuv is in the picture. So I'm sorry, I didn't explain about libuv. So libuv is a C++ add-on. You can say library which in which the event loop and the asynchronous behavior of Node.js depend on that. So libuv is solely responsible for asynchronous nature of Node.js. So there is a misconception like when we are making connection with a database, talking with that, making queries with that, or working on a file system. So that is handled by some other thing which is event loop, but that is not. So what happened here is uh, when the node program works, where when the node program start executing, where event loop is in the picture, what happens is libuv, what does libuv do is like it creates a thread pool with multiple thread. For example, it's normally created with a 4 thread, but it depends on your system architecture. It can also create 8 thread. So that by default create 4 thread to offload all of the asynchronous work. Like let's suppose you have four thread, it create libuv create 4 thread. So your program, your asynchronous things like the set timeout and all of the things will be it's offloaded to that asynchronous interface of your system. So yeah, and right now in the operating system which is coming right now in this today's world has many asynchronous interfaces for input output tasks, and whenever libuv and yes, whenever, yeah, but there is also a scenario where the libuv uh, uh, yeah, but let's suppose all of the asynchronous interfaces are occupied by some other task, or yeah, that is occupied by other tasks. So in that case, if there is no other option, then the thread pool will be used for asynchronous input output. Else thread pool is not being used. But if there is no other option, then it will be used. So every time when asynchronous things happen in Node.js, it doesn't handled by the thread pool. Another misconception is event emitter and event loop are related. So yeah, it doesn't. Event emitter is solely a different kind of things. Like it's entirely. What happened is Node.js. So event loop is a heart of Node.js. Like it depends on all of the asynchronous behavior of and non-blocking behavior of Node.js. But event emitter is when you are writing bunch of code, you can use that event emitter for solving your operations. So it's a different kind of thing. I guess my event has been ended. Yes, you guys can follow me on Twitter, and you can follow me. You can go to this website github.io, and yes, that's it.
Saurabh, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Actually, this is my first talk, which I am giving remotely. So apart from that, I am giving my talk in a local meetups where the people are 40, 50. So yeah, that's a good experience actually. But yeah, there is a registration.
That's good. So we have some time before the Q&A session. If you wouldn't mind, I would ask some questions that we have from the audience. Guys, if you have questions directly to Saurabh, so please ask. So the first question we have is when you actually going to have your Node.js course available for everyone? Or will you have such?
Actually, I am not planning. I haven't actually planned to write some Node.js course, but I would love to there are multiple of bunch of courses online available right now. But I am focusing. I have thought actually to focus on some of the basic core concepts which are actually hidden somewhere. So I think that I must contribute over that. So I can write a Medium articles. I'm thinking over that to writing some Medium articles. Yes. So yeah, I will update that article if I write in recent days. I will update that on my Twitter account or on my LinkedIn.
That's great. There is one more question which is coming constantly in the chat window. If the recording sessions be available, just want to answer to the audience that also your session will be available after the event will be finished, like in 1 week. For those who has registered for the free session, the junior track without video access, so please you are welcome to actually purchase for just $15 all the recordings from all the sessions that happened during the last 24 hours. And one more thing, actually, Saurabh, also to you, maybe not question, but the sign that we as a community, we're also looking for the people who can also participate in translating all the sessions into the local language. Not, of course, on your own, for example, maybe you know the community, you can ask them if they can help us because we're also community and we would like to spread the knowledge across the world, even there where English, for example, is not the language or not very well perceived, understand it, etc. So if any ideas volunteers to translate, please give us a sign by email info@geekle.us, or just give us a sign link to your LinkedIn profile or email how we can get in touch with you. So this is ask for help because we really need it. As today we have more than 10,000 people who attended our sessions from around the globe, from Americas to Australia, from north of Europe to the South Africa. So a lot of people. So let's. So we have actually some time before the Q&A session. I have a proposal. So if we don't have any question, let me check just a moment.
Yeah, sure. And I will like ask with in my local community if they are willing to like volunteer for the translation of all of the videos. So like that would be awesome. Actually, that can reach the maximum people. That will be wonderful. Yeah.
We have one question to you. So
yeah,
how
sure.
is event loop in comparison to multi-threading concept of Java?
Multi-threading is a concept of Java actually, but Node.js it uses a single thread. So basically what happens is there is some multi-threading backend in the Node.js which Node.js uses internally, but it uses only single thread. So Node.js actually uses multi-threading. Actually, I mean more than one thread internally, but we can't say that is multi-threading. So yeah, multi-threading concept of Java is extensively, that is other thing, but we can't say that multi-threading can be achieved in Node.js. But yeah, if you say that Node.js uses internally multi-thread to achieve a single threading application, so that can be right.
Thank you for the answer. And then we have one more question from Tatiana.
Sure.
So which tasks usually should be executed through set immediate or process.next tick?
Which set immediate and process.next tick. So yeah, so set immediate, see, there is another concept of set immediate and process.next tick. Set immediate is if you talk about which task is executing first, whether if you are executing set timeout and process.next tick. So set timeout is not exactly actually a set timeout. If we compare in both, process.next tick will execute, but yeah, I understand that is the naming convention. If set timeout, set immediate is not executing immediate, why it is named as set immediate? Why it isn't at process.next tick? So process.next tick is used to find errors, or if your program breaks with you can handle errors on that. If your program breaks unwillingly, so you can use process.next tick there.
Got it. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, dear Saurabh, we propose a 10 minutes break and come back in 10 minutes here, and we're going to have Q&A session.